The 14-year-old didn't seem to have an ounce of respect instilled into him, and when he tried taking a photo underneath her skirt, Lizzie had enough. However, before she could do or say something, a man, his father, walked up to her and gave her something she could never have expected. But before we start, smash the like button and man, make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. She noticed the flash too late. To be fair, she had been too dumbstruck by it to even react. Lizzie gasped as she turned wide-eyed toward the 14-year-old kid. This was no way for a young man to behave. She would certainly speak up about it. He called her a bitch. He couldn't be serious, right? This was truly unbelievable. First, he took an underskirt photo, and now he had the audacity to call her a bitch. She tried to keep calm. You either tell me your code, and I will delete the pictures you've taken, or you are not seeing your phone for the rest of the flight. Everyone in business class was now looking at Lizzie and the boy. Lizzie didn't even notice how other passengers were recording her reaction. The boy laughed humorlessly and then said something that Lizzie certainly hadn't expected. She turned into the kitchen where two of her colleagues stood, now gaping at Lizzie. She looked at them. Regardless of the boy's age, this was sexual harassment, and he wouldn't just get away with it. Behind her, Lizzie immediately plastered a smile on her face when she saw him, using her customer service voice as she spoke. "Hello, sir. Can I help you with anything?" The man smiled at her before speaking. "Yes, you can, Ms. Rodriguez," he said, which puzzled her. How did he know her last name? "I believe you have something that belongs to my son," he said, and she felt the color leave her skin. So this was the boy's father. She was hoping to see him after the plane had landed, but this was as good of a time as ever. "You want me to return his phone?" Sir Lizzie responded, thinking that was what he wanted. But the father looked away shortly with a smile on his lips before he shook his head. No. Discreetly, she palmed the note, her heart thudding with a mix of apprehension and curiosity. What could a man of his stature possibly communicate through such secretive means? As he retreated to his seat, Lizzie was left with a tangible piece of mystery clutched in her hand. In the privacy of the galley, Lizzie unfolded the note. Her eyes scanned the neatly penned words, "Meet me after the flight." The message was clear, but its intent was not. The ambiguity of the message left her with more questions than answers, each possibility more unnerving than the last. Lizzie found herself at a crossroads, torn between the call of duty and the potential risks of escalating the issue. Lizzie stood amidst her colleagues, feeling a deep conflict within. On one hand, her training and the airline's policies dictated a clear course of action. Should she follow protocol or heed the counsel of her peers? Her role as a flight attendant had never felt so complex. While attending to her duties, Lizzie was approached by a passenger, a middle-aged woman with a concerned expression. In a low voice, the woman revealed she had discreetly recorded the boy's inappropriate behavior. She handed her phone to Lizzie, who watched the footage with a growing sense of validation. This passenger, a silent observer until now, had become an unexpected ally in its odd place. Despite the uneasy atmosphere, Lizzie remained the epitome of professionalism. Her smile never wavered as she addressed passengers' needs, her voice steady and reassuring. As the aircraft descended, a palpable tension gripped the cabin. Passengers, aware of the incident, braced for potential fallout upon landing. It reassured the passengers and bolstered the crew, including Lizzie, as they prepared to face the unfolding situation. In the moments after landing, the crew gathered briefly, exchanging looks of solidarity. They anticipated a potential confrontation with the boy and his father. As passengers began to disembark, Lizzie steeled herself for the conversation with the father and son. As the cabin emptied, Lizzie noticed the father and son approaching her. The father's eyes were unreadable, giving nothing away of his thoughts or intentions. The son hung back, his head down, letting his father lead the conversation. Lizzie found it hard to gauge his stance on the incident. Was he here to confront, to defend his son, or to seek resolution? Lizzie nodded silently, signaling her agreement to the private conversation. In the secluded crew area, Lizzie faced the father and son, a palpable tension hanging in the air. She stood firm, her resolve clear in her posture. The father began to speak, his voice steady, but Lizzie could sense a tremor of emotion beneath his words. The son remained silent, his eyes fixed on the ground, adding to the gravity of the moment. To Lizzie's surprise, the father's first words were an apology. His tone conveyed genuine remorse, not just for the incident, but for any distress caused to Lizzie. He admitted that his son's behavior was unacceptable and inexcusable. The apology, unexpected yet earnest, began to shift the dynamic of their conversation, opening the door to a more constructive dialogue, in a twist that Lizzie had not anticipated. This revelation added a profound layer of complexity to the entire situation. Lizzie grappled with the implications of this information, and the man she was speaking to held considerable influence and power, which could significantly affect the outcome of this incident and her future in the airline. Seeking to make amends, the father proposed several significant gestures to compensate Lizzie. He expressed his desire to not only rectify the situation but to also acknowledge her professionalism and the distress caused. The father presented Lizzie with options that could aid her career advancement and fulfill her personal aspirations. These included opportunities for professional development, potential promotions within the airline, and other forms of support that would benefit her career trajectory. She weighed them against her own professional goals and personal values. While the offers were generous and could propel her career forward, she also pondered the ethical implications of accepting them. It was a delicate balance between seizing a potentially life-changing opportunity and staying true to her principles and the integrity of the situation at hand. It was a moment of realization about the power of opportunity and the paths it could lead her down. The father acknowledged that Lizzie had the right to pursue legal action against his son, given the seriousness of the offense. He expressed understanding of the legal implications and Lizzie's potential desire for justice through formal channels. This admission was a testament to the father's grasp of the severity of his son's actions and a recognition of Lizzie's authority and rights in the situation. After much contemplation, Lizzie made her decision. She chose a course of action that would both advance her career and ensure the boy was held accountable for his actions. It was a decision that struck a balance between accepting the father's offer for professional growth and maintaining her stance on the importance of responsibility and consequences for the boy's behavior. With her decision made, Lizzie stepped forward into a new chapter. The experience had been challenging, but it had also brought unexpected opportunities and growth. She felt a renewed sense of purpose and optimism about her future in the airline industry. The incident, while distressing, had ultimately provided her with a profound learning experience and a clearer vision for her path ahead.